What we're going to be doing in this tutorial is creating an if-else statement. To begin with, we've used a blue block, which is a question block. It asks the user a question and returns it to the variable answer. We then drag an if-else block down. We then drag a less than block, and we put answer in the first part of the block and something in the second half. We then get the character to say something depending on whether the answer is more or less than the number we've typed in after answer. If we run the script, it asks the question and then gives an answer. Now we're going to learn how to create loops. To create a loop, we create a starter. This time we're putting a forever loop in. This means that this will forever loop whilst the program is running. What we've put here is getting the character to move. This means that forever the character will move 10 steps. We've now put a timer in so that the character doesn't move 10 steps all the time. He only moves 10 steps after a second, and then after a second, and then he repeats that forever. Next, we can change the numbers to give him a fluid movement. The smaller the number of steps and the smaller the number of time gap, the more fluid the movement. We can also use different sprites so that he moves his legs independently every time he takes a step, so it looks a bit like he's walking. The better the sprites and the better you match the sprite change to the number of steps moved, the better it will look. Next, if we change it from a forever loop to a loop that only repeats 10 times, you'll see that after running a few times, he stops. If we increase this to repeating 100 times, you'll see he moves further than when we did it 10 times, but does stop. This also allows you to put code afterwards. Now we're going to work with some variables. We'll import a new sprite for this. You could use any of these sprites. I have chosen to use a specific button, the naught button. Now create a variable. I'm calling this one count, because it will count. Double click it to change the type of variable it appears. By using different blocks you can get it to do different things. This one, for instance, when we run the code, increases the variable by 1 each time you click it. Now, if we go back onto the other sprite, and use a different block, now every time that we click the cat, the variable will be set to 1. So it doesn't matter how many times you click on it, on the cat, it will be 1, and if you click on the naught, then it will increase by 1. Here we're working with broadcasts. We'll import a new variable, a new sprite, sorry. We'll import cheese puffs. Rearrange the screen so it's visually attractive, sort of. When the cat is clicked, we're going to make it so that it broadcasts something called eat. When it broadcasts eat, we're going to go onto the cheese puffs, and when that receives the broadcast eat, it's going to disappear. So we're going to go to the visual effect. And then, so that we can restart it, when the green flag is clicked, we're going to have it so that the cheese puffs are shown again. Now if we run the program, the cheese puffs are visible, we click on the cat, they're not visible, we click on the green flag, they're visible, and so on. That's how the broadcast works.